All right, today we are attaching an aquascape skimmer to a pond. This pond, you might be able to see behind me, is for ducks. So it's really important we have this skimmer because duck feathers, anything that lands on the surface, floats on the pond, is going to end up right here. Kind of serves as your pre-filter. So this filter is really important. What you'll see is you get this big face plate, and this is actually the weir assembly for the skimmer. And this is the essential part that actually makes the skimmer work. So the way they want you to attach this, and I'll probably do it a little different than the instructions say, but they want you to put these little sharp pegs in. This lines up your faceplate. So you actually dry fit it through the holes. You got to make sure that it's in right side up, that the weir latch is on top. And then that's kind of your guide. Now, when you make the attachment, you want to be really sure that you have plenty of excess liner in the pond. The worst thing you can do is make an attachment up here, have it tight as a banjo string, and it doesn't actually touch the dirt. That's going to put a lot of stress when you fill the pond with water on this actual physical connection you're making. It could be a leak scenario. So what we're going to do, make sure we have a lot of folds down here, just a lot of excess, and it's going to press onto those pegs, and then we're going to make our seal attachment. This is the actual plate that clamps down onto it. What I'm going to do next is just clean the surface because we need a good silicone seal here. That's what physically keeps the water from leaking out between the liner and the skimmer itself. So making sure not to put too much on, but we do want a real clean surface before we make this attachment. We've always done this and we never have any attachment issues, so you can probably get away without it, but I like to be safe. Now that we're up, what a lot of people do is they'll hang the liner. They'll actually push it on these sharp pegs. I'm going to take a risk, shoot my silicone bead, do it one and done so that I don't have to dry fit it and then take it off and then do it again. I would recommend, if you're doing it for the first time, do the dry fitment just so you know that you did it right and you have enough liner and all that. It's kind of a point of no return once you punch those holes in it, but there is a little bit more recovery than after you silicone the whole thing together. And what I'm looking for here is a nice solid bead, like half-inch bead of silicone. And this is coming out really slow, but I just got to take my time and make sure I have that consistent bead. Because if you get a gap, like if I went like that and had a gap, that's where a leak is going to happen. So what actually happens is this silicone gets pressed in by that faceplate I'm about to attach. It creates compression, then the silicone dries in between the seal, and it actually almost becomes part of the whole thing. It's almost as permanent as you can get. If you've ever taken one of these seals apart, you know that it's terrible to get all the old silicone off of the skimmer itself. It almost welds to it. There we go. I have a really solid bead there. So now it's time to hang my liner. And I know I have plenty of excess there. I put my hand on the back. This is the point of no return. Punch my holes. You also want to make sure side to side you don't have it too tight, but you also don't have it too loose. You don't want to end up with a lot of jumbled up liner right here. Then you take this, you hang it, that'll line it up just perfectly. I like having two tools for this. Call it a poker. It's just a really small screwdriver. That'll preset your holes for you. And then you need a screwdriver or a ratchet to put in the actual physical screws that'll make this compression seal. So we do that. That was my poker, as I call it, and then we got to drive this one home. I like doing the corners first, and don't tighten them all the way down at the first, right out the gate. Just enough to line everything up. Then I'm going to remove my two pokers that lined me up at the beginning. I'm going to put in those top two holes, and then I just poke the rest of my holes, start the rest of my screws, and then tighten them all down sequentially. You can fast forward through this part. Then This is really the point of no return. I mean, you've got all these holes in there now, but that's sealed by silicone. You have to cut out the middle section. That's actually what's going to allow the water to flow through into your filter. And bam, there you go. You have a clean, sealed liner to your skimmer unit. This is your weir door. That's what's actually going to surface skim. It's adjustable. You have 2 pegs on the inside, and that's it. The first time you do it, it'll be really scary. You're putting a bunch of holes in your liner. Just make sure you have that good bead of silicone. You can't go wrong. Till next time, guys.